What if an entire
of the
empire
Tangut Empire
with its own language
and the man who made it
its
his
own
personal
writing
mission
system,
to make sure
its own cities was so completely destroyed that for 700 years, nobody even knew it existed? No ruins, no records, no survivors left to tell the story, not because time erased it, but because someone deliberately tried to wipe it from the face of the earth. This is the story of the Tangut Empire, and the man who made it his personal mission to make sure you never heard of it, and he almost succeeded. It's the year 1038 AD. While Europe is still figuring out the Middle Ages, in the heart of Central Asia, right between China, Tibet, and the Mongol steppes, a new power is rising. The Tangut people, also known as the Xia, have just declared their own empire, and nobody is happy about it. China to the east thinks they're a vassal state that got too big for its boots. The Tibetans to the south see them as a threat, and the nomadic tribes to the north are watching carefully. But the Tanguts don't care. They build cities in the desert. They develop their own writing system, a complex, beautiful script with over 6,000 characters. They print their own books. They mint their own coins. They even translate Buddhist scriptures into their own language, a project so massive it takes decades to complete. At its peak, the Tangut Empire controls a territory the size of modern Germany and France combined. Their capital, Zhongsheng, is a thriving metropolis of palaces, temples, and markets. They are not a footnote. They are a civilization, and then they make one fatal mistake.
In the early 1200s, a new force is sweeping across Central Asia. Genghis Khan, the Mongols are building the largest land empire in human history, and they want the Tanguts on their side. The Tanguts agree reluctantly. They become a vassal state of the Mongol Empire, promising troops and resources when called upon. But in 1219, Genghis Khan calls in that promise. He's preparing to invade Central Asia and needs Tangut soldiers. The Tangut Emperor refuses. Let that sink in for a second. The Tangut Emperor looked at Genghis Khan, the man who had already conquered half the known world, and said no. Genghis Khan doesn't forget. He doesn't forgive, but he has other wars to fight first, so he makes a promise of his own. I will deal with them when I return. He always returns.
In 1226, Genghis Khan returns. He is old, he is sick, but he is absolutely furious. The Mongol army descends on the Tangut Empire with one goal, not conquest, not occupation, total annihilation. City by city, the Tangut Empire is destroyed. Zhongsheng, their magnificent capital, is leveled to the ground. The population is massacred, the fields are burned, the irrigation systems that allowed cities to exist in the desert are deliberately destroyed. Genghis Khan dies during the campaign, but not before giving his final order: leave no one alive. Leave nothing standing, leave no memory. His armies follow through. And here's what makes the Tangut story uniquely tragic: the Mongols were so thorough that they didn't even include the Tanguts in their own historical records. Other conquered peoples get mentioned. The Tanguts are simply absent. For nearly 700 years, the outside world had almost no idea the Xia Empire had ever existed. It wasn't until the early 1900s that a Russian explorer stumbled upon a buried city in the Gobi Desert and pulled out thousands of Tangut manuscripts that nobody could read. Because almost nobody alive still could.
The Tangut script wasn't fully decoded until the 1980s. Think about that. A complete civilization's written language, hidden from the world for 700 years, only recently unlocked. We're still discovering what they knew, what they believed, what they built. And here's the uncomfortable truth the Tangut story forces us to confront. History is written by the survivors. The Mongols wrote the history of their conquests. The Chinese wrote the history of their region. The Tanguts, who had no survivors left to tell their story, simply didn't exist in the historical record. How many other civilizations are out there, buried under deserts and oceans and centuries of silence? How many languages died with their last speaker? How many books burned with their last library? The Tanguts aren't just a forgotten empire. They're a reminder that history has enormous blind spots, and that what we don't know might be just as important as what we do. That's the thread we're pulling on every single week.
The Tangut script still exists. Scholars are still translating it today. Every year, we learn something new about a civilization the world tried to erase. Some threads refuse to stay buried. If this video made you think differently about history and about who gets to tell it, subscribe, because next week we're uncovering another story that never made it into your textbooks. I'll see you in the next thread.